Hello and welcome to the Underpowered podcast, a gaming podcast where we battle our backlog, revealing what is worth your time, money, and energy. I'm Shelby Stokes, today with Mr. Casey Cool.
Oh yeah.
Ooh, Daddy Soda or LaCroix?
Daddy sodas.
Daddy Sodas. It's been one of those weeks, huh? Gotta like gear up, get ready.
Gotta gear up, gotta prep myself. Help me sleep at night. No, just
it's the only way I get to sleep.
I have them like once or twice a week. Usually, like if we do the show, I'll have one, and then because it's like me and you hanging out at the bar.
Yeah.
And then when I do D&D nights, I have them.
Yeah, so here's my problem is I've been drinking way too much recently, and I don't see that stopping in the immediate future, but, maybe next month. We are going out of town this weekend, very jacked.
Oh, where are you going?
We're going to Austin, Texas.
Whoa.
Yeah, we're going to have
South by Southwest
weekend.
going on right now?
Oh, is it? No way.
No.
No way. There's no way. There's no way we timed South by right now. If we did, that'd be dope.
They might have canceled it. Oh no, it's for March 11th. So you're
okay. Yeah. So no, I'm not. But I've always wanted to go to Austin. It is on. I'm trying to like see every state in the United States, and I have a map going. I have not been to Texas. This might be my first time in Tejas. So I'm excited.
Yeah, you're going to the most liberal part of Texas.
Is that what it is? I don't know. I just like for some reason I feel like Austin might be my favorite city in Texas, even though I have no frame of reference whatsoever.
The college is there, UT, University of Texas is there, but it's like a little drop of it's like Metropolis in Texas. That's kind of it's about as left as Texas gets. If that makes
really?
Any sense. Yeah.
I know there's a bunch of game studios down there. I know when a whole bunch were relocating, a whole bunch of game studios moved down to that neck of the woods. Oh, really? Yeah, I think I'm really going to enjoy it, but it's exciting. You know, my wife and I don't often get a time to get away, but just the two of us, and that will be what we do this weekend. So I'm very excited.
Just the two of us.
That's right. We will. Yep, we're just the two of us. We're going to drink and sleep in and watch HBO rated R movies. It's going to be great.
Yeah.
I'm going to force her to watch The Eternals on the flight down because it just released on Disney Plus.
I see the crystal raindrops fall and the beauty of it all.
Dude, if you wanted to hop in a plane and come serenade us, that would work.
Oh, you're welcome.
Yeah.
No,
for sure. In fact, as we are talking about me going out of town, I am very much contemplating whether or not I should buy a little game called Metroid Dread.
Oh, I think you should save that for March, for Metroidvania March. But
Metroidmania March. I love your alliteration here.
Metroidvania March, like we did JRPG July.
There's some Axiom Verge that I think I need to play based on your recommendation too.
Yeah,
though.
You could do that. You could do both.
Why not both? I could do both. Why not? You're a bad influence. That's why we hang out.
That's why we play. That's why we have this podcast. So we can influences and play video games with each other.
That's right. It's only $60, right? I mean, you can't take it with you. You got to spend it while you have it.
Yeah. Right? You know, you only live once. YOLO, as the kids say.
YOLO, live once, and it's a 4-hour flight. So come on, Eternals is only going to take up 80% of that flight.
You worry about the COVID at all?
Yes, of course. But I mean, we're pot committed right now. I mean, COVID's real bad. Omicron variant specifically is spiking just about everywhere.
Yeah.
I know a handful of people that have been vaccinated, have been boosted, and have actually got the virus recently.
But they don't get that sick, is my understanding.
Exactly. Yeah. Not to say like, let's go spit in each other's mouths, but the fear isn't as prevalent as
actually,
it used to
that's
be.
what I heard. You just should spit in each other's mouths, and then you get the immunity, and you're good.
But you're the South Park fan. Isn't that Oogie Mouth? Isn't there an episode about Oogie Mouth?
Where they're spitting in each other's mouth? There is some old episode about that. Yeah. Yeah, of course, yeah.
So I mean, that's what I'm thinking about picking up my DS. I also have Baba Is You and a couple other games.
Did you just call your Switch a DS?
Yes, I did.
You just went full on grandma, mom, like, go give me your Game Boy. This is a PlayStation, Mom.
Yes, I've called it DS multiple times in the last couple of days. Me and my coworker were talking about it. I called it a DS then too.
It's because it's the handheld, right? I've always called the 3DS a Game Boy, and like people look at me like it's the Game Boy. Like this is the evolution of the Game Boy. So I get it. No, I'm playing a lot of things for Switch. It's been interesting because my son, he got his Switch for Christmas. Something I bought because I told you how bad Sonic's Forces was, right?
Yeah.
And I like classic Sonic games. Sonicmania was on sale for $5 during that Christmas sale, and I bought it.
Ooh.
It's super fun. It's just classic Sonic with an uptick. The modding community made Sonicmania. I don't know if you're familiar with it. They got some guys from the modding community behind the game, and it's like really tight, classic Sonic. There's a couple like added characters. There's Ray the Flying Squirrel. He's yellow. He's cute. And then there's Mighty Armadillo, who's from Knuckles Chaotic. Again, I'm deep in the Sonic lore.
Now this is all in Sonicmania, or is this
Yeah,
in a
these are
modding
characters you can
community?
play.
Okay.
This is this is from Sonic, like the comic books from IDW or formerly from Archie characters.
Got it.
And which are not bad comics, I will say, especially if you have a young kid that wants to read. And it's fun. It's just classic Sonic. So my son is playing this Green Hill Zone 1, right? But he's experienced it at like a high res, really well done pixel art, and the mechanics are really tight. And he's like, "This is really fun." I was like, "Yeah, right." He really likes Tails because Tails dies and he comes back and helps him every time. All he's got to learn to do is block, and that's been kind of fun. I'm going to kind of tinker through that for enjoying it. I'm still playing Inkenfell.
Nice.
I'm about halfway through. Still really enjoying it. It's actually, if you're not paying attention. So I talked about the timed battle sequences for the tile. Right. When you're not paying attention, if you look away for a second, and my ADHD will make that happen, I'll forget because I'm thinking JRPG, I just can press A and go through the motions. No, I miss my attack, or I miss my buff, or I'm not paying attention. You have to be kind of like dialed in.
Right.
So
is that good or bad?
I think it's good. I think it's good to be present in what you're doing.
Mm-hmm.
Like with Bravely Default, this is the thing why I can't say like I could say skip it.
Well, let me ask that question differently. In Inkenfell, do you feel like you have to do a lot of grinding or no?
No, you just have to be present in like a boss battle. If you're not paying attention, you'll get punished.
Mm-hmm. So I guess like the reason I ask it that way is like if you do have to grind it out, I feel like you should be able to just like go through the zone and tap A and just like attack just to buff up your character. Like I did that when I played like a dragon, right? Like I got into the dungeons and it's just like, okay, I'm gonna put auto battle on because I don't need to pay attention.
And I'm all for that too. Like in Fire Emblem, I would do auto battles when I'm just leveling people up, and I'd watch the battle sequence through and be like, yeah, cool. This is my rule of thumb is if enemies appear in a new zone, I fight every enemy. I've always done that with role-playing games or JRPG games, and it keeps you away from grinding. And the thing that's really nice, you can run from every battle. There's no punishment in Inkenfell from running and coming back and like healing up. The save points are cats, by the way. You pet the cat and it restores you.
Does it feel like full-on Harry Potter? Because I know it's like Harry Potter vibes, but JRPG, right?
It's Harry Potter adjacent. The Wizard School, it's magic, and the Harry Potter HBO special just came out. And
yeah, I've heard good things.
Really good. Made my wife cry.
Yeah, I have
Made
not
me
seen
tear up
it
a little
personally.
bit. It's worth it. It's definitely worth the watch. And the Inkenfell, you get that Harry Potter love and vibe, but it's its own thing too. Like I said, it includes everybody type of game. I don't know if anybody's speedrunning it because right now Games Done Quick is going on, but I enjoy it and it makes me happy. But the other JRPG that I'm enjoying is another classic that my son got for Christmas, and it's kind of hit or miss on because I think the reading gets to him. Not that he can't. He's 6, right? So like it's a lot of reading. As Pokemon Brilliant Diamond.
Ooh, that's the new one, right?
That's the remake of Pokemon Diamond, yeah.
But it's the most recent release. Is that fair?
Yes. Yes.
Does it look way shinier? Like, is there quality of life improvements? Like, how much have they done to the game?
It's really cute. It's the same games, but they've taken the battle sprites from Sword for the most part, and then it looks like the DS game. In that it's like the characters are small, they're kind of chibi, like chibi is like the cute little, quite anime eyes. They took that, so it feels like a handheld DS Pokemon, right?
Gotcha.
It's going through that motion, but with like improved graphics. Like the water looks really good. Like I was like looking at the water, and so I'm like, oh, look at that water, it looks real.
Nice.
And I'm such a stickler. I'm probably gonna play like with a little bit of Nuzlocke rules.
Are you judging his like squad right now? Like, is he rolling around with like
No,
a
he
ratatata and you just can't even stand it?
no. He's got a decent squad. He told me he was gonna pick Turtwig, like hyping himself up for Turtwig, and the day comes, choose a Chimchar, right? Which is fine, because Turtwig's always been my guy, right? So I was like, okay, I guess I'll start with Chimchar this time, right,
Yeah.
for the advantage, because we play each other and won't crush him. And but I chose Turtwig, my guy, and then I'm such a nerd. I kept restarting until I got the best nature or personality for Turtwig
Hold on,
for stat growth.
I got to back you up a second. Did you just say that you saw what your son chose and then chose his
I chose the
weakness to
weaker
go
one. I
hard
chose the
against?
weaker one. I chose the weaker one this time because he
Wait
took my
a
guy.
second.
He took my guy, and I was like, all right.
So you're
But
gonna stomp him. You're gonna like leaf smash him, and it's gonna be like super effective. That's
well,
what's
no,
gonna
he's
happen.
fire. Fire has advantage, right?
Okay,
He's
over
fire
you.
over me. Now,
Oh well, aren't you just
had he
dying on the
chose
sword?
Turtwig, if he had chose Turtwig, I'm choosing Chimchar, and I'm like, this is what you get for taking my starter from my game, right? It's funny. It's interesting to see how he plays. He would probably enjoy it more if we play together, because then I can help him read, and we'll do that from time to time. Like, all right, I want to see you beat a gym. We're focusing because school's back on, so like he needs to focus on that more. And he's really into Sonicmania. He likes that because it's fast. At his age, he wants to just play the game, right? Pokemon and RPGs are really hard for a 6-year-old because like they don't see the story or the develop, right? They're not in it for that and the building the team. Like I think Pokemon Arceus will eventually get that, and he'll be really into that because there's the exploration aspect of it, and he can just explore
I mean,
everything.
hopefully. I mean, right now there's a big old question mark looming over that game. And
Yeah,
when is it
yeah.
supposed to come out? Like the 26th?
28th,
28th, so 2 weeks from now
2 weeks. Yeah,
ish. Yeah.
yeah. People are hyped for that though, and I'm holding off just because I'm busy with so
Now,
many things.
now, correct me if I'm incorrect, but we haven't seen a gameplay trailer or anything from that game, have we?
We've seen clips. They show
Okay.
some things, and they've shown some battling, and there's some new video that they just released this week, but they haven't gone full in detail about everything.
It's not like here's 5 minutes uncut from the game.
Like of just straight gameplay. No, it's cherry pick.
Isn't that crazy being 2 weeks out? I mean, I guess it is Nintendo, but isn't that crazy that we haven't seen like full on gameplay footage?
No. I think it's just like a treehouse would be it, right? Where they would show that,
Yeah.
but no, not at this stage of the game. Nintendo COVID, they're like, hey, we're showing you what it is. It's Pokemon, but we're doing this Breath of the Wild it. Good luck.
Let's
Hopefully
just
you like
face it.
it.
Nintendo does whatever they want at any time. They're just like, look, this is how we roll. Boom,
Boom.
game.
And it's good sometimes.
Here
It's really good.
we're about to launch our game of the year in January this year,
Right,
just so
right.
everyone's clear. Yeah.
By the way, we're getting into VR. Boom. Done.
Dude, the Wii 2 is just going to be a headset.
Yeah. It's just called You. It's not called
Yeah.
Wii. It's just called You because
It's just
you
called
are
You.
the game.
That's right. That's right.
Um,
So I actually checked something off of my
oh yeah.
backlog that
What
has
are you
been
playing?
hanging on my backlog for a very long time. The game is called Gorogoa.
Okay.
This game came out back in, oh, my notes for this are completely gone. Back in, I want to say 2017. It's an Anapurna joint.
How do you spell this?
Gorogoa, Goragoa. Gorogoa. And I'm going to check. It did come out in 2017, December of 2017. This has been a game that got a lot of buzz not a lot of buzz, but some buzz in 2017. It's been on my list ever since.
Is it a puzzle game?
It is a puzzle game. Yeah. So essentially what
Weird.
happens is you set up 4 different tiles and you are basically looking at just a grid of 4 boxes. And you put one of the tiles down, and within that tile, you can like zoom in or have a character walk across the screen. It's kind of like point and click adventure in that tile, right? So you come to a point on that first tile where there's like a boy in a window, right? Well, if you take that tile, you click and drag it to one of the other tiles, all of a sudden the boy pops out of that picture, and all of a sudden you have the tower and then the boy in the window in another tile. And then essentially what you're able to do is like move around in each one of those scenes and mix and match these tiles in a way that kind of walks you through a scene in some way. And it's really cool. It's artistically striking, in my opinion. I played through it, finished it. It's not a very long game. It's 2 hours. I want to say that I really enjoyed it, but it left me like, oh, I wanted to play this game for a while, and it's already over.
It's kind of like a palate cleanser, kind of short.
A little bit, yeah. Like it's very calming, very peaceful. I put together a TLDR for it. I researched it was $5 on phones, which I think is a pretty decent price. Yeah, and I think it'd be good to kind of like do when you're in the middle of something. It's $15 on Steam. It also just came to Game Pass.
There you go.
Which is why I finally broke down and played it, because it was free to me.
Does it have replay value?
I don't think it does. I don't think it has much replay value.
That hurts it a bit, right?
Yeah, the Chivos on it are like, you're going to get the majority of them going through the game, and then packed into the base game once you get through for a first run through. It unlocks the initial demo that came out for this game, which you can go through and play. And then if you beat that, you get the rest of the Achievos. So it was a platinum for me, and I got that in probably 2 hours and 15 minutes. 2.5 hours. Okay. I would say it's a really good puzzle game. If you're into puzzle games, this is kind of mind-bending and really enjoyable. I would say that it's low stress, kind of puts you in a zen-inducing state, which is nice. It's aesthetically striking. Like it really feels like you're walking through an art gallery to some extent. Downside of this game, only 2 hours, right? So you're in and out. It can be unclear on times on how to move the scene forward, which I found frustrating. I did have to look at a guide, but only twice in my playthrough. And I really, as you asked earlier, I really think it has a low replay value. I think it's a good phone game. I think if you're on a flight, pay $5, worth it. You're not going to buy this game and play it over and over and over. One thing that I do find really interesting about this game is that it's one of Anapurna's first like games, and I think it helped put them on the map. And now
that's the Donut County people.
Yeah, like in 2022, Anapurna has quite the catalog.
Yeah. Speaking of quite the catalog.
Yeah.
As we move into news, if you want to do that segue.
Hey, let's do it. Yes.
Take-Two got quite the catalog.
Take-Two did get quite the catalog. So this story comes from Kotaku, and it basically outlines the fact that the GTA publisher Take-Two, excuse me, has purchased Zynga for $12.7 billion. Say what?
Yeah, fun games make a lot of money, huh?
Dude, apparently $12.7 billion is quite a bit of money, though.
Yeah, Black Hakoge, he's a streamer. He's on G4 as well. He made a comment that a lot of streamers, like mobile games, there's actually just tons of money in that market, and that's how like that's why there's so many Raid the Legends or whatever that one MOBA phone game that everyone talks about is always being promoted, and excuse me, it's I don't know, man. Are they bringing back Farmville? That's the real question.
Are they bringing back Farmville? I mean, the $1 million question. Would you play a Farmville? I mean, if it was skinned with a Stardew Valley, maybe.
They should just make Stardew Valley for phones.
But I mean, okay, so we're talking Take-Two. So GTA, BioShock, XCOM, Civilization, and other franchises. Those being like the big four that are listed here in this article. There could be some pretty cool phone games in any of those universes, I would say. Like XCOM, like that would work.
Or what kind of GTA phone game would there be?
I mean, honestly, old school GTA. Like if you go back to GTA 1 and 2, I don't know if there is anything like that on phones. I'm sure there is. Yeah.
Yeah.
But if you go back and play those games, they were pretty wonky in terms of controls and trying to do what you wanted to do, which was part of the fun, I think.
Maybe we'll get like a simulator, like a BioShockville.
Yeah, you know what I would like to see is like the companion apps. Those were big about 5 years ago. Remember how you could like play a game and then download the app and they could interact with one another? I always thought there was like some sort of way to make that work, and no one did it right, in my opinion. Like GTA had one of those. I remember I had the app for that.
Well, Take-Two also does NBA 2K, which is huge. Mm-hmm. And maybe they're going to do something with microtransactions or some type of phone added there. I don't know.
Yeah.
That'd be interesting to see.
I mean,
$12.7 billion. That's what did Microsoft spend on Bethesda?
Dude, I don't know what. And then the other news, didn't Microsoft absorb Ubisoft, or what? How did that go? No, Ubisoft. I shouldn't.
Microsoft bought Bethesda for 7.5.
Yeah, hold on.
Well, no, I saw they were talking. There was like some tweets with each other, and I think Microsoft Ubisoft acquisition.
Ubisoft is bringing subscription service to Xbox. So Ubisoft is bringing the subscription plan to Xbox in some capacity, and either there were rumors or it was confirmed, I never looked into this, about this coming to Game Pass.
Yeah.
Ubisoft Plus being folded in, which would be your Far Cries, it would be your Assassin's Creeds. What else? What else requires you to climb a tower and find all the waypoints? Rainbow Six is in that list. Yeah. Spelunky 2. Heck yeah.
I know. Yeah, I don't. This is wild. It just, that's the biggest acquisition to date after that Bethesda one. And that Bethesda one we thought at 7.5 billion was super big. So I just gotta know, like, how much mobile games are bringing in each month. I know Pokemon Go makes a good amount of coin.
Yeah.
So this makes me rethink a lot of things about mobile games.
I mean, mobile games is where the money's at, man. To be honest with you, so much of that DNA is gambling, right? And Vegas lives and dies off of gambling. And if you have the slot machine in your pocket, like, why not?
True.
I am probably the opposite. Like, I barely spend any money on phone games. Like, I'm just wired that way. If it's a loot box or a blind box, I'm like actively trying not to spend money on that.
I don't know. I feel like if I play the game for so many years, I don't mind giving them a little bit of my money back because it's.
Yeah, and what I'm telling you is I am broken. Like, I played
that
Marvel Strike Force game. I didn't pay a dime that entire time. I played that game for like 3 years. Like, I'm just that guy.
Yeah,
I'm the problem child.
You're a whale. You're a whale is what you're telling me. And
I'm an anti-whale. I'm like the anti-whale. I'm like a minnow. I'm the prawn of mobile games.
So you get what, like $20? That's about it.
The prawn of mini games. There's your episode title.
The prices are high. The prawn of mini games.
The other story that I pulled up is kind of for you, is that the LAPD.
Actually, speaking of mobile games, right?
Yeah.
Do you ever think a mobile game would get you in trouble or get you fired?
Yeah. No, not at all. So on this story that comes to us from invenglobal.com, the LAPD
and it's on
officers.
IG, and it's everywhere right now.
Yeah. LAPD officers fired for ignoring robbery to catch a Snorlax in Pokemon Go. So essentially what happened is there was a call, 2 police officers in their car when in 2017, the call comes in about a robbery.
This is the height of Pokemon Go.
This is when it's going down. So they get a call that says, hey, go do this robbery. And they are on tape saying, no, we're going to try to catch a Snorlax. 2 officers on tape.
Here's the thing. Current police probably feel like that's safer than doing their job and they won't get in trouble for it. Right. I was like, when was this happening? Was this happening during like CHOP and the riots? Or like, I was like, oh, this was at the height when police were not fully hated. It makes cops look super bad. I mean, people are bad at their jobs everywhere, right?
Well, I mean, LAPD, they don't have a bad rap for being horrible cops or anything.
No,
never. Yeah. Ask my friend Rodney. I mean, probably not.
Wow, a Rodney King reference.
I'm just saying, like, the LAPD has some pretty bad stuff in their past.
Yeah, they have a bad
This does not help them whatsoever. Do I think they caught it? Probably not.
Yes, that documentary Training Day taught me that
Denzel
too.
at his best, I have to say. That's
yeah. I'm King Kong. No. Did they catch the Snorlax? Was it worth it? I feel like if it was Mewtwo, yeah, I'm sorry, this robbery is going to have to wait. Snorlax will come and go.
I hope the judge asks him in court, like, hey, did you catch Snorlax?
Do you still play?
Did
Like,
you have to
thing.
spend a great ball to make this happen?
Are they going to have to go to court?
I mean, sure. Why not?
I think they got fired. I don't think.
Well, yeah,
the
now they can play
claimed that the
Pokemon
city,
Go all they want.
acted improperly by using in-car recording of them during disciplinary process. The court denied the petition. I see. And according to the Court of Appeals, it was judgment because the robbery was a Crenshaw Mall. Man, rough. Then they referred to fighting the Togetic. That really meant relaying information to the group on their app. However, the two admitted to leaving their beat area to search for Snorlax, according to the judgment.
These have to be really bad cops. Like, for them to get kicked out on Pokemon Go, like, okay, let's be real. Like, the robbery comes, the robbery goes. No one's going to know that you just ignored that call, right? I mean, the people that are the victims aren't going to be like, oh, my spidey sense was signaling and I knew they ignored the... Like, no one's going to know. So there had to be some, like, other stuff going on. They're like, hey, look at this incident. These idiots were on Pokemon Go, and then canned them.
What are they covering up instead? That's what I want to know. They're like, okay, we're going to sacrifice these guys so these other cops that are taking bribes don't get caught.
Dude, we're going to take off our tinfoil hats and move on before we solve the police problems in our nation.
In Los Angeles.
Let's move on to the third story that I pulled, and it's kind of a small story, but I found it interesting. This one comes from thegamer.com, biggest gaming news of the week, and this short little write-up has to do with Dying Light 2. Now, this story basically says that on Dying Light's 2 Twitter account, they recently claimed that the game would take 500 hours to complete. Received a fair amount of backlash from the community at the time, and now the devs have clarified that the main story will take 20 hours to complete and the additional 60 hours required to do all of the side quests. So, you hear 500, you freak out, and then they kind of backpedal a little bit is essentially what happened.
Yeah. They overpromised and underdelivered,
But do you think this was like a completionist run, like for you to get every nook and cranny here at 500?
Maybe. Here's what I think hurt them. Everyone was really excited for that game before COVID, and the COVID came and slowed all their production down. We talked about Sean mentioned this last week too, like that people were excited about the game, but the COVID de-hype train happened. And maybe the average player could take 500. Maybe there's a lot of things. Is there multiplayer? Is there PvP? Is there other things you could do to put and sink all those hours into it? That being said, to go to 20 from 500 is a pretty big jump.
Yeah. So where my mind goes is that this game, when it was on preview at E3 moons ago, was basically showing how you could like little actions in the first act would have monumental consequences in the second and third act. Like you drain the dam, big things happen, right?
Got it.
So what I'm guessing is like you have to play each one of those story paths to completely get all of the items.
To get all the scenarios and to see the full story. Right. I have to choose left instead of right. Yeah.
Exactly. So let's say there's 4 acts you're going to have to go through and replay that game multiple times would be my only guess. And maybe they kind of set it up where they're like, oh, the public took this out of context, or that's not what we meant to say. And then they had to backtrack. That's how I read that.
Yeah, that could totally be it. Or they just don't want to overpromise and get made fun of on the internet. 500 hours, huh?
But also, I don't want to play a game for 500 hours. That's not going to happen for me.
Let me tell you about a little something called World of Warcraft.
I can't. That's why I had to stop. That's why I had to stop at level 46. The level cap was 60 at the time. I just couldn't. I couldn't go all the way.
I guarantee you had about 100 hours in that game to get to 46.
Yes, I couldn't tell you that sounds about right. I played a lot of that game.
Yeah,
but that was a good game back in the day. Probably still is.
People still like it. No, Final Fantasy XIV is a new hotness. Yeah, we'll see. I'll follow up now. I know people are still hyped on it. Maybe they're just trying to curb expectations, which kudos for them, because game companies like Cyber Red or Project Red should have curbed expectations and then not have had a due-to release. But now people are really liking Cyberpunk. Typical typical Project Red maneuver.
I still haven't played it.
Yeah, I'll be curious what you think when you do. For Speculation News Network, I have one more thing that I thought about, and I'm seeing. I don't know if you heard this through the grapevine. We're talking about Mario Kart 9 right now. There's rumors about it, and it's gonna be. It's got a crazy new mechanic, and it's gonna come out maybe teased to this year.
Mm-hmm.
They're gonna announce something with it, which would be huge.
I think Nintendo needs that. I mean, look at their launch lineup. I mean, we don't know where Breath of the Wild is. Like, if it's coming this year, great. If not, great. But they're gonna need something to fill the rest of the year. And if Mario Kart is like something that can work for them, good on them. I don't know.
Bring back Double Dash.
Do people want a new Mario Kart?
Mario Kart has a huge online racing community. Okay. People love it. I always thought they should just keep 8 and then just keep adding tracks and DLC, right? That's one option. But they want to make another game and they were going to add on it, and that's fine. New sales, new people playing. Again, I would love to see the Double Dash mechanic.
I think they always want your money, so they're always working on a new game. Like, how long do you think it's going to take before they release another Smash? Because it's coming.
Sakurai is done for a while. Like they're releasing him from his cell, and like, you're free. You can see the sunlight because they have him in some bunker underground. Like, you're working for the next 40 years for us. Like, poor Sakurai. Yeah. He gave his soul, but that game's great.
Yeah,
right?
I mean,
and it's his.
It is great. I think that in 4 or 5 years you're gonna see them want to reboot that though.
I think it'd be like the next console cycle. I don't think you see a new Smash till 2026, 27? Until
the Wii headset.
To the U. Not the Wii U.
To the U headset.
The U. To the VR. So you are fighting.
Where you just jack the chip right into your head.
And just go right in there.
I mean, I would be interested to see what they do with the new Mario Kart. Let's see. Like, the one that's currently on Switch is the remake from the Wii U,
It's Mario Kart 8, yes, which is good.
So, yeah. I mean, good game.
There's no bad Mario Kart. Like, let's be real. Mm-hmm. Like, even a low, like, tier Mario Kart, it's just because it didn't age well, was a great game.
I would agree with that. I think that they could probably do something. I don't know what they're going to do. Like, Double Dash was a cool mechanic. I don't know what they would do for another mechanic, but they got to do something to try to innovate on it.
Give me the Double Dash.
Now, what was the gimmick? You could, like, switch the driver and the shooter.
If you were 2 players, though, your buddy had to control the back, and if you drifted, they could help you drift. They would fight. They could punch people as they drove by. They controlled the items, right? And then you could switch. And depending on your team tandem, every character had a special item box. Like, Mario had the big fireballs. Donkey Kong had, like, some super banana thing. Toad had a super mushroom that made him super fast. What did everybody have? Everyone had just, like, either a special attack or offensive move that was unique to them. Huh. And certain tandems were really good. I
could see them doing something like that. Yeah, I mean, I could see them bringing something like that back.
Or they'll do something wacky. I'm all for it. I want to see. Give me the Mario Kart 9. Do it.
Do it. That's. I agree. So before we go into our last segment, we got a little bit of time here. Were there any surprises on the Game of the Year discussions that you listened to?
No, not really, because I haven't listened to much. I've read a couple, and then I listened to like a few podcasts, and I was like, oh, interesting. Mm-hmm. I'm kind of just like in our own space because we do our own thing, so I'm more curious to read some lists. I feel like this year was a good year for games, but no, I wasn't surprised by anything. It's like Metroid Dread seemed to be on a lot of top.
Yeah, I was. I mean, I've been. I make my manifesto every year, and I will post it in our Discord.
Yes,
I'm waiting for Giant Bomb to have their list out, and then I'll post what I have in the Discord. But I'm surprised how much love Guardians of the Galaxy is getting.
Yeah,
I'm shocked, to be honest with you.
Like, looking at that, like, that meme of the guy behind the tree, like rubbing his hands and licking his lips, like that, ready to eat. That's me with Guardians of the Galaxy. Yeah. But on Switch, it's a cloud game.
You play it over the cloud. What does that mean? You have to be connected to the internet to play it? Got it. I think so. Okay. Because there's another game that I was just looking at that was cloud only. I forget what it was, but that's becoming more and more common, it seems like.
Yeah, that's with Game Pass. And what's the thing on the phone that you had?
Well,
I don't want to say XPlay.
That's Game Pass, but yeah.
XCloud, or isn't it called XCloud?
XCloud. Yeah, it's XCloud. Yeah. I mean, Game Pass, I'm downloading those titles and playing them from my machine, but this would be a remote server, I would imagine. Anyway, yeah, so I'm excited to hear the rest of the year wrap up. It's kind of weird to get that list so late, but more to come on that.
Are you doing well? Yeah, as we end up the show, I was going to ask you what you watching.
What am I watching? So I am currently working through The Witcher Season 2.
Oh, yeah, okay. We're done.
That is what I am watching. I know a lot of people have probably finished it already. Mm-hmm. They're well beyond it. I'm getting like half an episode a night. Let's be real.
Slow pull.
Like I sit down, the wife goes to sleep. I watch half of it. I start dozing off and turn it off. I'm liking it so far. It's pretty good. I can't get over Henry Cavill's eyes. I think I'm butchering his name. But he has like these yellow contacts.
No, it's Cavill.
He has these yellow contacts in, and I can't get over it. And I think it bugged me in the first season.
Do you feel like he has jaundice?
It just feels really fake. Like, I don't know how else to say it. It's just like, why? Just give him normal eyes. Like, we don't need to go that hard.
Here's my take on The Witcher, okay? The show.
Yeah.
It's like Hercules if Hercules had a budget and CGI. You remember the Hercules show with Kevin Sorbo when we were kids?
No.
Oh, you don't remember Hercules, like in Xena, Warrior Princess, those kind of shows?
Yeah, that one. And Xena would throw those circle blades.
Yeah, the Shamras, or whatever they're called, the shock.
Yeah, I mean that's like where sci-fi was born, right? The Sci-Fi Network.
Yeah, those like fantasy. Yeah, but it's like those shows with a budget and CGI.
Yeah, and I think this one has like a budget. It's I don't know. I like it. I don't know that I'd fully endorse it to anybody. It feels like Game of Thrones, but more like monsters and stuff. Game of Thrones is obviously really strong writing in the beginning and not so strong at the end. So there you go.
Well, they didn't.
Yeah. What about you? What are you watching?
Cobra Kai, new season came out. Watched that over the weekend.
Oh no, you're not.
So happy.
Are you serious?
Dr. Zubat sent me a picture because when he was in Vegas, he sent me a picture of the Cobra Kai slot machine. I was like, please bet on that right now. You'll win. No, season 5 dropped right after Christmas, and it was like the Friday after. It was great. I spent like a weekend watching it in like chunks. So I went on like a binge and watched a lot of things, actually.
That's good.
Yeah, because sometimes I do that. Because I'll go like months without watching TV or whatever my wife or kids watch. Then I finished another show I like called F is for Family. It's Bill Burr's animated series that's on Netflix. And it was
Bill Burr is... What is that rated?
Oh, mature. They swear. There's nudity. It's super raunchy. It's great. And it was the final season and final episode. And it kind of wraps up storylines about... I think it's loosely based off his family life. Then the other show I went back to was Big Mouth. And I just don't like it anymore. I've come to that because I'm like, why did I watch this? This was a waste of my time.
Is that right? How far into it were you?
I watched the last current season. I watched all of it. I was like,
you watched all of it. Okay, gotcha.
But I'm going to tell you something that I watched and I loved, and I bought it. I bought the media of it because I loved it so much.
Bought something?
I bought something.
What'd you buy?
Batman Ninja Turtles crossover movie.
What? Is this real?
It is awesome. It's rated PG-13. I wanted to watch it with my son, so like he wanted to have a sleepover one day. And because my dad has a bad back, we had a mattress on the ground downstairs where our TV is. I'm like, yeah, we can go have a sleepover because we were supposed to go to Sing 2, and we're like, I don't know, COVID and everything. And take us. Anyway, I was like, hey, let's rent this movie. And we stayed up to like 10:30 watching it. And our room's above it, right? My wife's asleep. We had my AirPods in. So he had one AirPod in his ear and I had mine in the other ear. And so we could talk, right? While we were watching the movie. It's awesome. It is so good because it's true to like the comics a bit. It's true to like the good era of the cartoons. Batman is in his like gray and blue, not all black, but it's the traditional Batman guy voice from all the animated series. The guy who does all the voices. It's funny. There is a light decapitation. I was like, that's why it's PG-13. But it's no blood. You just see like the head like and then the body separated from you. Like, oh.
Where did you find it? Has this been out for a while? Like, what is
it? Came out in 2019. Batman.
Yeah, I'm looking at it right now.
It's Batman versus Ninja Turtles. I definitely watched the trailer. It is awesome. I love Batman, and I love me some Ninja Turtles. I got a bunch of their books for Christmas. I'm almost actually caught up on all the anthologies for owning them. But it's really good because the other thing is Batman and Ninja Turtles do crossovers in the comics. They have a 3 or 4 series run that they do. Yeah, Batman comics. How many? I think I have volume 3, and what happens is the worlds get crossed over, and Bruce Wayne is like the unofficial 5th turtle in that world. In the
What
3rd
the
one, because of
heck
how the
is
things cross
going
over.
on? This is
Yeah.
now this could have been like what, like if Marvel did this, like if they somehow moved Batman and Ninja Turtles into a live action movie, that could be really cool. Just saying.
It could be really
Get
cool.
on it, DC. Where you at?
Well, you know what? Yeah, I would love to see some kind of crossover. Marvel and Shonen Jump. You get Naruto and all the Goku and Captain America final fight.
Yes.
I love it. My son's like, should we watch that this week? I'm like, I'm thinking about it. I'm really tempted to get Paramount Plus because they have all the seasons of Ninja.
Oh, dude, just get the free trial and then just like knock it out.
Or watch them all again with my son. I could do that too.
Yeah, for sure.
Yeah, that's a good
Paramount,
idea.
sign in, get it done, knock it out.
Then forget about it and then have it.
Yeah,
Oh
well,
yeah, I forgot to cancel that.
Isn't that inevitable? That always happens.
Yeah.
I would be remiss not to mention little Marvel during the What You Watching segment.
Oh, the Hawkeye. Yeah, were you watching Hawkeye?
Hawkeye was good. I don't know if I talked about Spider-Man on this podcast.
Oh, did you see? No, we haven't. Did you go see?
If you
No Way Home,
have the opportunity to see Spider-Man in theaters, do it.
Okay.
Like, do it. It is freaking awesome. It is very well done. They're tying in villains from like the Tobey Maguire universe and the Andrew Garfield universe. Like they're tying a whole bunch of loose ends together and they're putting a little bow on it. And I am blown away at the lengths they went to make that a cool experience.
I think the cat's out of the bag with like the big secret in that movie, but they're trying to get those former Spider-Mans to get new movies because of how well this is doing and like connect the universe more. Because really, what they can think into the SpiderVerse for this, because people realize in Spider-Man's always had a multiverse in the comics. Here's the thing: I've seen the first Tom Holland Spider-Man. I've not seen the second one, and I still need to do that.
I mean, I have a site that I can share with you where you can watch things for little to no dollars. Yeah, but yeah, I think that the Tom Holland one is I think he's a good Spider-Man. I think he might be my favorite prior to this last film, and then this last film made me reflect on other Spider-Men, and I'm like, oh, maybe those other Spider-Men weren't as bad as I thought they were.
I think Spider-Man is our version. It's like not our version. It's like James Bond. In that, like, these actors are going to play it. It's this character that will travel through time, and there'll be other Spider-Mans, there'll be other Batmans.
Yeah.
Right? Here's the benefit what they did with Tom Holland. They didn't just do another, like, origin story movie.
Exactly
like,
right.
You guys know.
Yeah.
Let's go.
And like the whole time they've just been nodding. Like, we know you saw the stuff. Like, here it is. Like, this is not going to be like, this is how, the origin story was not there. And that's what they should be doing with these superhero movies. We've seen so many origin stories in the last 20 years that if they just picked some stuff up, did some character developments, and told interesting stories like the comics books have for years and years, they wouldn't have the superhero fatigue that we're seeing right now. So
they should just make it a show and do the origin in the show and then get people's interest. And if people really like the character, then you make the movie.
Yeah, for sure.
Duh!
In regards to Hawkeye, everyone knows Hawkeye is my favorite superhero. Like,
such a weird pick, but yeah.
So good. He has no superpowers. He's down and dirty. He gets it done. Like, love Hawkeye. I was excited about the character they brought back. If you've watched the series, you know what I'm talking about. They bring some stuff back that ties the universe together even further.
Are you talking about the golden retriever with one eye?
That is exactly who I'm talking about, is the golden retriever with one eye.
Lucky? What's his name?
The pizza dog. Lucky the pizza dog.
He is cute.
Yes.
So I want to know if that's a dog really with only one eye, or if they like do something.
Oh, they had to glue it shut.
Oh, that's animal abuse. They wouldn't let that happen. I think they just found a crippled dog, or they CGI'd it.
I mean, here's my deal with Hawkeye. I wish it was better.
What do you? Hold on, time out.
It was better.
Hold on. I'm not skipping that.
Yeah.
You think in 2022 they're like, oh, just glue that the dog's eye together. That's get the Gorilla Glue. It'll be fine.
No, it's probably just like clear duct tape. No, I think what they're doing is they're using an all natural glue to put the dog's eye together. That's Hollywood, man.
Actually,
no dogs were harmed.
I think they just got 5 dogs and they mutilated 5 dogs to fit the role, and then they euthanized them after the show. Nothing big.
Let's be real. With the state of our society where you can like deep fake anybody to say anything, they're probably just CGIing the whole thing.
That's the logical thing to go to. Or they found crippled dogs. That's great, but not that great. Hawkeye. It's okay.
Yeah. I mean, I wish I liked it more. I think there's some really strong episodes. I want to say midway through, I was like, yes, this show is amazing. This is my favorite show. And then the last episode just kind of fizzled for me. And I was disappointed. Do you have anything else? Because I have one more that I think we should end on.
That Batman Ninja Turtles is fire. And everyone needs to watch it. Like, yes. I will have you come over and watch it. I also... new season of Demon Slayer came out. I'm still waiting to see the movie, but people are... it just started, and people are hyped. I see like the clips.
Are you watching that on Crunchyroll? How are you watching that?
You can watch it on Crunchyroll. You can watch it on VRV. You can watch it on a couple different apps. I'm waiting until the season's done, and I'm waiting until you and I and Spool see the movie together.
When are we gonna go? When are we gonna risk COVID? And how are we gonna see it now?
We'll just go to Spool's house and rent it.
Is it even? It's not even in theaters anymore.
No, we can buy it and own it. It's not. It's on Amazon Prime and Apple Movies.
Okay, let's set that up. Are we going to drink sake?
Hell yeah. Let's do it. If you
right.
We'll do that. Honorable. We'll honor it. We'll do that. We'll wear our jinbeis and kimonos and bring our katanas and wear our wigs and then scream, Dadabayo! That's a Naruto reference. The Dadabayo.
Yeah, for sure. So the last thing that I want to bring up on what you're watching just came out recently. If you have kids or you want to watch a family movie, Encanto, I think, is one of the better Disney movies that's come out in the last 10 years.
My kids really like that.
Yeah.
My kids really like that.
I think it's top shelf. For me, it's up there with Moana. I think it's one of the better Disney movies I've seen in a while.
Did you watch Onward?
I did watch Onward.
I really like Onward.
I liked it, but there's no music. You got to have the music in there to get you moving, right?
Right.
I think this is one of the better musicals, I guess, more specifically. Onward was good.
Is Encanto a Pixar or is it a Disney? Like Frozen is Disney, not Pixar.
You know, I don't know the answer to that, and because when I saw it, I was like, "Is this Pixar?" And I never confirmed that.
Pixar doesn't really do the musicals.
But also, are they even using the Pixar designation anymore, or did they just get absorbed by
Luca?
Disney?
Was Pixar? No, Pixar does like one movie a year, so Luca was theirs, which is really good. I really like Luca, but. Yeah, Onward is Pixar. I really like Onward because of the D&D vibes. And a father-son story makes me cry. But it's a good one. But Encanto, my wife really liked to watch that with the kids. Really enjoyed it.
I saw Sing this weekend.
Sing 2?
And that felt like a 2-hour film. This movie is 10 minutes shorter and did not feel a quarter of the length that Sing did.
It drags.
I think Encanto's got such a good pace about it that it is top shelf. I was very impressed with it. Well, it's been a good episode. Yeah. I know that we are kind of just at time. Anything else you want to add before we wrap this thing?
Nah. Godspeed. Cool. God bless.
That's right. Thank you for putting us in your ear holes each and every week. And if you want more of us, feel free to follow us on your social channels. Those are in the attached description. We're also on Discord. We're chatting. We're talking. Leave us a review, 5 stars if you would be so kind. That is a wrap for this week. We are out.
Play your games.